Welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be diving into the future.
That's right.
Specifically 2025.
2025. We've got some excerpts from an article, and this is going to be your source material.
Okay.
It's called Bill Gates, Amazon CTO, and Other Tech Leaders Share Their Predictions for 2025.
Right.
So we're going to be looking at those predictions and kind of getting into it.
That sounds great.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
We're about to explore some really fascinating insights from the people who are shaping tomorrow.
It is amazing to see how many of these predictions all kind of come back to artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Its impact on work, our personal lives, even societal values. It's like we're on the verge of this major transformation.
Yeah. And speaking of transformations,
Yeah.
do you remember that prediction Bill Gates made about a decade ago?
Oh, yeah.
He said 2/3 of U.S. jobs would need education beyond high school by 2025. Well, guess what?
What?
This IS 2025.
Oh, yeah.
So is this prediction coming true? I mean, it's certainly looking that way.
Yeah.
The article actually highlights how companies like ADP are already integrating AI into their operations.
Okay.
Their CFO, Don McGuire, he specifically mentions that AI, particularly Gen AI tools, are taking over tasks previously done by humans.
What are Gen AI tools?
Well, Gen AI refers to a new generation of artificial intelligence
Okay.
that is much more sophisticated than the previous versions.
Okay.
And these tools, they can generate human quality text, translate languages, write different kinds of creative content, and even answer your questions in an informative way.
So it's not just about robots on assembly lines anymore.
Now,
AI is becoming more integrated into white-collar jobs, too.
exactly.
It really makes you wonder, is this shift ultimately a good or bad thing for the average worker?
I don't think it's so black and white.
Yeah.
While some jobs are being automated,
Right.
AI is also creating new opportunities, roles we haven't even thought of yet.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that Amazon CTO, Werner Vogels, points to this quiet revolution that's happening.
Okay.
He says it's not just about climbing the corporate ladder or earning a big paycheck anymore.
Right.
People, especially younger generations, they want their work to have a real positive impact on society.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like the definition of success is evolving.
Yeah.
Do you think this desire for meaningful work is just idealism?
I
Or is it something companies are actively responding to?
think it's becoming a business imperative.
Okay.
Think about it. Companies that can demonstrate a positive societal impact are likely to attract and retain top talent.
Yeah.
They're also more likely to gain customer loyalty in a world where consumers are increasingly conscious of a company's values.
That's true.
So it's not just about doing good.
Yeah.
It's good for business.
Okay, so AI is reshaping the how and the why of work.
Right.
But what about how we use tech in our personal lives?
Yeah.
Any predictions about that?
Well, there's some contrasting views on that.
Okay.
On one hand, Vogels predicts a move towards more intentional tech use in 2025. He believes people are growing tired of being bombarded with notifications and attention-grabbing designs.
Right.
He even mentions the rise of dumb phones
Yeah.
as evidence of people wanting to reclaim their time and focus.
Yeah, it's like a digital detox.
Yeah.
I've definitely felt that pull myself, the
Yeah.
urge to unplug and disconnect from the constant stream of information.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But then we have Clement Delange,
Okay.
the CEO of Hugging Face,
Okay.
which is an AI company, ironically, who predicts a very different scenario.
Okay.
He foresees the first major AI-related protest in 2025,
Really?
suggesting a growing unease with the technology and its implications.
Wow.
But at the same time, he also predicts over 100,000 pre-orders for personal AI robots.
Wow, that's a fascinating contrast.
Yeah.
On one hand, skepticism and pushback.
Yeah.
On the other, a rush to embrace this futuristic technology.
Right.
It seems like we're at a crossroads with how we view and use technology.
Precisely. Makes you wonder, what does this mean for us as individuals?
Yeah.
Are we heading towards a future where technology controls us? Or are we becoming more discerning and intentional about how we integrate it into our lives?
Yeah.
Big questions.
Yeah, big questions,
Yeah.
definitely. So it's like we have these two paths, right, diverging in front of us. On the one hand, we're embracing AI, and all of its potential benefits,
Right.
even welcoming robots into our homes.
Yeah.
But on the other, we're pushing back,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even protesting the increasing influence of AI on our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Which path will we ultimately choose?
That's a good question.
I guess only time will tell.
Yeah, it's not just about individual choices either, is it?
Yeah.
There are larger forces at play,
Yeah.
like global economic trends
Right.
that could significantly shape our world in the next few years.
Yeah.
In fact, the article you provided touches on a pretty major one.
What's that?
Tariffs.
Oh, yeah. Tariffs, right. Didn't former President Trump, who's now back for a second term,
Yeah.
propose bringing back tariffs on imported goods?
That's right.
Yeah.
And Michael Perica, the CFO of Rimini Street,
Okay.
the software company,
Uh-huh.
believes these tariffs are pretty much a done deal.
Really?
He predicts they will likely lead to some pretty big changes.
Okay, but what exactly does that mean for the average person?
Well,
Should we be worried?
Lending Tree economist Jacob Channel predicts these tariffs will likely lead to higher prices for consumers.
Oh, no.
So if companies had to pay more for imported goods
Okay.
because of tariffs, they'll likely pass those costs on to us, the buyers.
Right.
Think about it. Everything from electronics to clothing
Yeah.
could become more expensive.
Ugh, that's not great.
Is it?
My wallet's already feeling a little bit light.
I hear you.
Yeah. So is there anything else we should be concerned about?
Well, Perica also predicts that companies might have to cut back on projects to offset the added costs from tariffs.
Okay.
And they'll likely need to adjust their supply chains
Right.
to deal with potential disruptions.
Yeah, because tariffs can make it more difficult and expensive to import goods from certain countries. So tariffs could mean higher prices, fewer job opportunities, and maybe even shortages of some products.
Right.
That's a lot to digest.
It is.
It seems like preparing for these economic shifts is just as important as navigating the changes AI is bringing.
Absolutely. It's all connected.
Yeah.
These technological advancements,
Right.
shifting societal values, and global economic forces are all intertwined,
Yeah.
creating a complex and dynamic landscape for the future.
It really is. This deep dive is definitely living up to its name.
Yeah,
We've covered so much ground already.
we have.
It's amazing how much insight these tech leaders have into what's coming down the pipeline.
It's all about connecting the dots, isn't it?
Yeah.
Recognizing the patterns and understanding how different trends might intersect and influence each other.
Speaking of connecting the dots,
Yeah.
do you think there's any connection between these economic predictions and the predictions about AI?
Oh, that's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Could tariffs impact the development or adoption of AI in any way?
Yeah. That's a good question.
That's an excellent question. And it highlights one of the key challenges of making predictions.
Right.
It's not enough to just look at individual trends in isolation.
Yeah.
We have to consider how they might interact and influence each other
Okay.
in unexpected ways.
So it's not just about predicting the future,
No.
but about understanding the complex web of factors that shape it.
Precisely. And that's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
Because while we can't predict the future with absolute certainty,
Right.
we can use these insights to make more informed decisions and prepare for different scenarios.
Okay. So we've got AI reshaping the workforce, evolving ideas about work-life balance, potential tech backlash. Yeah.
And now the added layer of economic uncertainty with tariffs,
Right.
it's a lot to process.
It is. But remember,
Yeah.
these are just predictions.
Yep.
The future isn't set in stone. It's
Yeah.
still being written.
Right.
And that brings us to a crucial question for you.
We've been talking about these potential futures, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like AI changing how we work,
Yeah.
even why we work,
Mm-hmm.
possible tech backlash,
Right.
and of course the economic uncertainty around tariffs.
Uh-huh.
But here's the big question.
Yeah.
What role will you play in all this?
That's the real takeaway from these predictions.
Yeah.
We're not just passive observers.
Right.
Our choices, both individually and collectively,
Right.
will determine what this future actually looks like.
I get that.
Yeah.
But it feels a bit overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
how can one person really make a difference in the face of all these
Yeah.
massive technological and economic shifts?
Well, it starts with being informed and engaged.
Understanding these forces that are shaping our world.
Right.
That's the first step towards taking action,
Okay.
you know? Then you can support companies and initiatives that align with your values.
Right.
Let's say you're really passionate about ethical AI development.
Okay.
You can choose to work for
Mm-hmm.
or invest in companies that prioritize those principles.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But what about those of us who aren't, like
Yeah.
tech geniuses or CEOs?
Right.
What can we do in our everyday life?
There's power in those everyday choices.
Okay.
You know, you can educate yourself about AI and its impact,
Mm-hmm.
advocate for responsible development, be mindful of your own tech consumption.
Okay.
Make choices that support your well-being. Not just feed the algorithms.
Yeah.
The future isn't something that just happens to us.
Right.
It's something we create together.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's a powerful thought.
Yeah.
It's not about predicting the future with perfect accuracy, but about actively participating in shaping the world we want to live in.
Exactly. That's what makes this whole conversation so exciting.
Yeah.
We're not just bystanders. We're at the cusp of a new era. And the possibilities are truly endless.
Endless possibilities.
Yeah.
And the power to shape them.
Yeah.
That's a great note to end on.
I think so.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the future.
Absolutely.
We'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration of the ideas that matter.